Okay, and we are live. Welcome, everyone. I'm just going to read a brief introduction. We have with us Dezert-Owl, and I'll read this and then we'll get on with the program. Okay, this is a little bit about what Desert's been doing for the last over 40 years, and it's these words. I was reading through it a little while ago, and it makes more sense every time I read them, and it's more important now than ever, I think. Anyway, in essence, Desert discusses the history of the world and how the unseen hand has been running it from the very beginning of time. Who they are, how they have founded all of the first great civilizations that are found all around the world, about who the giants really were, the ancient Aryan caste and slave systems, the priesthoods, the anti-gravity V-manners, I hope I got that right, the Earth-based misnomered UFOs, which are man-made, the control of all forms of communications, commerce, religion, mass media, pseudo-politics, etc. It is the grand deception that is used to control all of mankind, and all instituted through the three main religions of the world in particular, used as their grand cover. Their cyber code has been revealed to him because he has become adept within the study of the ancient alphabets, communications, symbolism, religion, custom, law, cosmology, mythology, not to mention the fallacy of today's political science and pseudoscience in particular. Desert can also define the true nature of their warfare, their shell game of bringing one civilization up for their temporary use and then taking it down for the next 500-year generational cycle, as symbolized by the classical phoenix. He discusses the ultimate in mind control in ancient art and the financial control, the secret societies and their blood occult rituals, and how they wage all wars throughout all time through the nations that they have created, which are all imaginations, plantations, and mere corporations. They have taken blood oaths to surrender their self-will and mind to their blind goddess who has demanded our blood from the very beginning of time. They communicate to their minions through the movies, TV, and print media, while he can see, read, and interpret most all of it. It all says that they are using us for our ingenuity, for our collective constructive labour, for experimentation, and in the end, they intend to kill us all. They have given us full notice of what they are doing and what they fully intend to do, while all of the general population, the sheeple, they merely go there to be entertained. The New World Order is the Old World Order from the beginning of time. There is a major cosmic natural disaster that is about to happen on Earth, and they know it. But they are cleverly leaving us in the dark, hence the reason that they have built hundreds of underground bases all around the world, while they are leaving all of the people to remain unprepared, uninformed, and above ground, so that when it comes, the mere 5% who will survive above ground will die from the weaknesses and disease that has been generated from all of the poisons that they have been feeding us, from the chemtrails to fluoride in the water, to tainted vaccines, to fake food, etc., etc. They have enslaved us all by clever means of deception, because we, most all, are their cattle, chattel, property, because they merely wanted to harness our labour, what they always needed, which is what backs most of the world's currency through birth certificate, but they are all through with us now. It is written in stone, as it can be seen written in the Georgia Guidestones. To know the truth is to be empowered and to be prepared. We may not be able to stop what has been done and what is about to happen, but the innocent and decent people on planet Earth deserve to know. And that was written by Dezert-Owl. I'll give you some contact details here. You can contact him. He's author of the Real Da Vinci Code Etymological Dictionary, and you can get a copy on PDF at the realpublicradio.net, all one word, the realpublicradio.net. G'day, love. I didn't think there was any notifications happening at the moment. Yeah. Anyway, thank you. Where was I? Okay, yeah. Any size donation. I don't know how we're going to do that just yet because we're doing all the streams through my PC until we can figure out until Desert figures out what's going on with his computer. But they are available. I might even put my email down in the description so that people can contact us and get a copy. And I've got your, so this is a very professional Desert. I've got your old phone number on this piece of paper. And can we get a sound check for Desert, and I'll get Desert to read out his phone number because it's in the phone and I don't want to touch anything.
608 566 7295. 608 566 7295 in the US.
Okay, and +1 if you're international, just a +1 in front of it. Yeah, it's in my speed dial, so I didn't memorize it. Every time I'm in your chat, I have to go and look it up to type it into the chat. And Skype. We'll
give out Skype. My computer's down.
Yeah.
I don't know for how long. So,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Anyway, okay, so we're here and we're live. And yeah, and we're both, it sounds good. You're a 10, I'm a 10. All is looking good.
Okay. So which one of those things I can talk about did you want to talk about?
There's so many things that I'd like to talk about, Desert. It is unbelievable. Everything that I'm seeing at the moment and reading and just looking around like in real fake life all comes back to the frequencies and making ourselves pure so that we can get closer to Yeshua and go home. That's what I'm seeing at the moment, Desert. So one thing I was thinking about today was the 40 days, like the number 40 comes up a lot. And I know numbers are pretty significant. Trying to think. Yeshua went out into the wilderness for 40 days. And he was approached with 3 temptations during that 40 days. I'm familiar with the story of Noah and the flood. But I'm still, as you know, I'm still learning a lot of the scripture, and I have a mixture of not being well versed in the false stories or the ones that have been mixed up, and I'm still learning the true stories. So, but yeah, like with the flood, that was 40 days and 40 nights. Just the number 40 comes up a lot. Is there significance there? Is my question.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you could add also the 40 days that Moshe was on top of the fiery mountain receiving the 10 mandates.
Yeah.
Also, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was another one that I was trying to think of. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was 40 years old when he slew one of the pharaonic guards because he was beating one of the Hebrews. So he was 40 years old when he had to flee Meitzar, pseudo-Egypt, and then it was 40 years in Midian when he saw the burning bush and got the vision to go back, and then it was 40 years in the wilderness. So three periods of 40 within his life story.
Wow, there's a 3 again as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so 40, and it was 40 years ago when I climbed the mountain.
Yep.
The tallest peak in the contiguous U.S., Mount Whitney, 14,500 feet, in Central California near Death Valley, and I, had the vision of seeing words, but it was now been 40 years since then. I was about 22 years old at the time, which is the number of perfection. And so my vision quest has taken me this far down the road before I could even really begin to present what I have been seeing in the grand conspiracy to deny us access to the true message of the Mashiach that belongs correctly within our scriptures, which is correctly Shultres, and Tre is three and tree, and Tre, and everything's on the tray of the tree in the form of 3. Very often, three stars hold up by Orion's belt is his, so 3 holds everything together in the symbolism. So and a pyramid structure has 3 points, the top and the right and the left when you see it in the star constellation he's pointing to with his bow and arrow. So anyway, it's quite a universe we're in, but the 40 shows the great patience of Yeshua with the people of the planet, that he knows that very often we have to go down the road of life before we're actually ready to be sick enough of this world to serve him properly, and to be ready to handle what the enlightenment is really all about, because what we don't see out there is enlightenment at all, with few exceptions, but it is the golden age of enlightenment that he brought through his truth. It's about, in other words, the word gospel is hiding the original, which is the star message of enlightenment. That is what Yeshua brings, is enlightenment, to be able to see things as they really are, to be able to speak truth, and not to be a part of any of the lies and deceptions that people are bought into.
Wow. Wow. Sorry, my voice isn't that great at the moment. Just wow, does it? You speak truth. Okay. I was also looking at a book that I've had for quite a few years, and back when I bought the book, I didn't make the connections that I'm seeing now. Love you, Ya Love. Ya Love is saying love you, Ninja, with lots of hearts, and there's an owl there too, Desert. Anyway, the book that I got is called The Miracle of Water. I hope I pronounced this right. It's written by Masaru Emoto. I think that's right. And he's Japanese. And he did an experiment with water crystals and energy. He labelled some of them. Trying to remember exactly how he did it. I think he froze them, and he froze the water, and he labelled them with different words. For example, one would be labelled with the word happy. Another one would be labelled with the word anger, and just all these positive and negative words. And it affected, like he looked at it under a microscope, and just the intention of thought affected the water crystals. And that is making so much more sense to me now than ever. All the negative ones were deformed and discoloured, and all the positive ones were beautiful looking crystals. They look like beautiful snowflakes. Yeah, and it just makes so much sense. And
that's what they call quantum physics.
Yeah.
Also metaphysics. It's metaphysics, but it's because it's beyond the physical spectrum of our comprehension, or what we can easily see, with our naked eye. It's but the quantum physics, because it's it's something that we would not have naturally imagined. But yet this water is, someone said, water should not be, because of it's so unique that it could be questioned that it should not even exist in nature because of its unique abilities and nature. The gas coming together like that and then evaporating and starting over, and all the things that water does. And so it is a mystery. And it's very symbolic then of the spirit of life as well, which is another mystery as well.
Yeah, well, our bodies are made up of I can't remember the actual amount. I've heard it that many times, and it's just gone. But we're made up. The majority is water, and if our thoughts are negative, and negative thoughts affect water in that way, then what's it doing to our bodies? It's creating all the disease in our bodies. Stress can manifest physically in our bodies, and it just all goes back to thoughts and the water. Yeah, I mean, like, this world was created by a thought, so it all makes sense to me. Yeah, I'm just amazed. I'm just wowed constantly, does it?
The word vibration, it's about vibration
and the waves.
And intention.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm running out of words. I'm wowing already. So, yeah.
Water is not my specialty, so I can't comment too much on it. We're a biological recreation of the Earth. We're 70% water. The Earth is 70% water.
Wow.
We're the blood of the Earth. It represents. We're symbolic of the Earth. We're cosmic symbols. So an interesting fact about the atomic level, though, with in relationship with water, it's a real mind blower. But like if you took the width of a hair, they say there's like 1 million atoms in between that distance on the width of a hair.
Yeah.
And I don't know that because I've never seen it on a microscope or anything like that. But I trust that it's probably true, based on what we hear from the documentaries and the science and all that. So literally, based on the atom being so small, unbelievably small, which is the foundation of all life, Yeshua is the first atom. He is the first made, and everything else after that is a duplicate. But the first made is the perfect gene, the protogene, what I call the protogene. But anyway, so if you took a glass of water, then literally in that 8-ounce glass of water, there are more atoms in that 8-ounce glass of water than there are glasses of water in all of the oceans of the world combined.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
And just thinking kind of along the same line, how everything we see as solid is not. The main thing I remember about all this complicated quantum physics stuff is something I heard about the atom, how like everything is constantly in motion, vibrating and spinning, and the atom even has little electrons, if I'm correct, electrons spinning around it. And the distance between the atom and the electron is equivalent to the size of a football field, if I'm explaining that right. So.
Yeah, but that's not, but still on a microscopic level. So in other words, it's sort of like, if I remember correctly, it's sort of like the difference between the distance of the Earth and the Sun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, that's dramatic. It's that which is least is an image of that which is great, and so the Sun is the representative of the atom. That which is the greatest is also representative of that which is smallest, and that which is smallest is representative of that which is the greatest. And that's as what we talk about quite a bit is the picture of the sun and what it represents in our cosmic realm. And of course, it is the great logo.
Yeah.
Great logo. Sorry, I interrupted you guys.
Oh no, I was just. You made me think. That is that's a better comparison. That's a more true comparison. Because the one I heard about the football field, I mean, look at like football, sports, rituals, deception, lies. My neighbours out the back drinking and watching the footy every night over summer. Yeah. And that's the most important thing to them. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, what you're saying is much better. I should be writing things down as we're talking, Desert, because I thought of something and it's gone again. I'm getting my pen. I can't think of it. Oh, can you please maybe go over I don't know where to start with it. Because you say it so perfectly. The sun and the center of the galaxy and the words. I don't know where to start. Even I still get confused because I need to hear it over and over for it to sink in. What part of our creator is the sun. You explained it to me a while ago, Desert. Yeah, and you were talking about the center of our galaxy.
In comparison to the center of the solar system?
Yeah, like.
And that's another microcosm versus macrocosm, because the center of the galaxy, where all the stars revolve around, is sort of like the solar system, but only on a grander scale, right?
So all repeating patterns.
Yeah. So what's a black hole? In other words, all the stars in our galaxy, which is similar and tied to a solar system where everything goes around the sun, but everything goes around the black hole. And yet it's not a black hole. What it is actually pure energy. It's a vortex of pure energy, and all the stars revolve around it, and they all are charged by the energy that comes out of the center. And so if we were to regard the sun as being the symbol of Yeshua, the great logo, the great Elohim, then the center of the mystery of the black hole, which is pure energy, then would represent Yahweh or Yahweh as it's mispronounced. And so that's the great Father, the primordial Father who made all of the universe, but gave Yeshua authority as a son. You see, the word son literally means a star. We never get the picture when we say we had a son, that we had a boy, we have a son, that it means I had a star, because that's exactly what it implies. And so the male is representative of the stars. That's why men are bigger than women, because they represent something that is greater in creation, which is the symbol of the Father, representing the Father. So all of the in a pancake, all of the stars of our galaxy go around in a 26,000-year approximate cycle, 24,500 or whatever it is, 24,250. I'm not sure. Roughly 25,000 years. The great clock of precession, and we just came out of Pisces and into Aquarius, and we're starting all over again now with the clock. And Aquarius, of course, is the water, going through the cosmic waters again. And so all of these stars in a flat pancake bob up and down like corks in an ocean. And so every 5,200 years approximate, the Earth is on a cycle going up and down, like a plane.
Yeah.
And when it goes past through the very center of that flat line, it then receives the charge from the center of the black hole. The pure energy in a vibrating wave comes out from the center, and so the star, our sun, is continually charged every cycle, being therefore going up and then coming down, going up every 5,250 years. And apparently, it's been just about 5,250 years since the flood of Nova, and so put two and two together. What happened back then, it looks like it's happening now. We're having cosmic events because it also, maybe several things that are happening at one time, from the visitation of a binary star twin, Nemesis, the dwarf star, with four planets going around it, one of them being Nibiru, but also we're bobbing up and down through the flat line. So the bob going up and down may have something to do with connecting with the binary twin. I don't know, but it's interesting that there seems to be more than just passing through the flat line, because that's what the Mayan calendar was all about. The year 2012, that Mayan calendar was also on a 5,250-year cycle. So it wasn't talking about the end of the world. It was saying it was the end of the last cycle and then the beginning of a new one that we were going into. So it's interesting, because apparently this Death Star is it seems to be related to the cycle somehow because, in order for Africa and Europe to rip apart and let the Atlantic Ocean flood in and flood the Mediterranean Sea, a 4,000-mile flood, that takes quite a bit of energy to rip the continents apart, and that's why it seems to me that star system came in. And it wasn't just our passing through the flat line of the galaxy being charged by the center vortex, but at the same time, every time we pass through that, apparently it has an effect on the DNA of all life on Earth, and life therefore continues to evolve in different ways as we've seen through all the processions of time. New species continue to come up, and so that's part of that cycle of creation that continues prior to man being here, and of course while we've been here as well. Evolution in the creative cycles continues to unfold. We see it before our eyes. So this whole nonsense about evolution, this battle, it's just that man was created here. He didn't evolve. He didn't come from H. He was spontaneously generated by the Elohim, and spontaneously generated for Yahweh to be a part of the grand purpose. And so we are foreigners to this planet. We are not from Earth. We are a planet here, by Elohim, made of the minerals and salts, and that's symbolic of our serpent, because our serpent has to eat the dust of the earth or we die, so our body, the serpent, has to continue to eat the produce. So we're bound here physically, but yet we are of a spiritual order and have to be born again, of course, according to spirit, because we're not really of the earth. It's the grand illusion.
Wow. Yeah, when you were talking, you made me think of all the talk about how the Earth is like. I already knew about I don't know. It's obvious to me. Like nothing stays still. Everything's moving. Everything's moving around and up and down and spinning. And in our arm of the galaxy, we're heading through the photon belt, and that's the thickest part of the arm of the galaxy at this time. And so would that be what the Mayans were talking about with that, not the world ending in 2012, but starting again, like going through a different stage? Would that have been when we started to enter into the thickest part of the arm of our galaxy? And would that relate to all the energies and the different frequencies and changes that are going on? And is the deception matching all of this as we go as well, with their manipulation of frequencies and weather and earthquakes? And so have we got like two things going along side by side? Like the real truth is happening, but at the same time there's manipulation going alongside the whole way through these times. Am I saying that right?
Well, manipulation, I know that Yeshua is involved with all things within our world and our cosmos. Yahweh is involved, and apparently this Death Star visitation is here as a cleansing process, because man is easily deceived, and then a few men are dark enough to want to run the lives of everybody else. Those are the fallen Bekodesh, the watchers who fell, that lived to be 1,000 years old, and because they drank snake venom, they had the secret. But they also knew how all the things in the universe operated, because they were the children of Adam, who knew how all things operated in our universe. And as I read the other day, I think for you, it said that there was none who knew the one who was above all of the other creation was Adam.
Yeah.
And so he was with Yeshua while Yeshua was creating all things on earth. Yeshua had him name all things on earth from the atom, which is the correct word for Eden, because Eden is a corruption of a code for the atom. They didn't want us to get the picture that that's the garden of the atom, and there's sort of two gardens, the lower garden, because it said that he took him out of the atom, out of Eden, and placed him in the garden. See, so this duality is prevalent throughout the entire story of our scriptures and our creation. That we have the atom. Yeshua is the first atom, atom, and then Adam is the duplicate. Right? He knows all things as well, but he wasn't made by Yahweh. He was made by Elohim. Therefore, he couldn't be perfect as Yeshua proved himself to be. And therefore, with all that head knowledge that he had, he ultimately fell into the darkness of this world and fell. But the knowledge that he had was the knowledge that gave us our modern technological age, starting with the pyramid civilizations 8,000 years ago, and then while at the same time they invented anti-gravity craft. There was nothing that they couldn't create. They tapped into the free energy that Tesla talked about. So then after the flood, everything, much of it, a lot was destroyed through the cataclysmic events that occurred on Earth all around the world, tsunamis around the world. All that first period of time, many people died. And then they regrouped. Of course, the One World Order was still running the world, but they had to regroup. And so they engineered our modern technological age on a timeline. They seem to operate on a 500-year timeline. And so all the different inventions are planned when they come out. They're progressively brought out as it fits their agenda. And that's why if it don't fit their agenda, they go kill the people, like the people with the free energy, the car that'll run on hydrogen, water, all these things, and they kill these people, or they take their technology from them, put them in prison, because they're not allowed to come out with free energy, especially because they want to send you the bill. They love having you on the string of slavery, and you have to pay the phone bill, you have to pay the electric bill, you have to pay the water bill. They don't want you having free, right? Slave.
Right. So would the technologies, sorry to cut you off, would the technologies have been exactly the same, just repeatedly over these 500-year cycles, or would they have developed and advanced?
They were different. It seemed to be they were certainly more. There ain't no question they were more advanced, because they did stuff we can't do today. They were more advanced back then, and it seems like the technology was simpler in certain ways. Simple is always the secret.
Yeah.
But it seems like we just have they perfected modern day slavery. That's all. We're slaves to our machines. We're slaves to our jobs. We're slaves to our thought process that they deluded us in. The diluvian flood of our minds with false information, right?
Yeah, and all the stuff that they've put up in our atmosphere is definitely affecting our minds and manipulating us and trying and keeping the majority of the world asleep, and glued to their phones and their tablets. Like I was saying to you last night with the lithium, who knows what else they put up there. And the last few days I was starting to wonder if I actually had the strength to deal with everything that's happening now, with the frequencies and with Mum and just all the weird, and I now know that I didn't have the strength to deal with it. I was letting it consume me, and I was letting the negative physical world try and take over, which is exactly what they want. This like exactly what the deception's all about. And I didn't have the strength. It wasn't until I asked, like I sat silent and I asked Yeshua for the strength, that the fogginess cleared and I felt stronger, and I went from doubting myself and frustration and all those negative things. It was almost instantaneous. My entire mood changed. I was calmer. I could talk and laugh with Mum again. And this is like within probably about 30 minutes of asking. So, yeah, I know that I can't do this myself. I know that Yeshua is real, and if I ask from the heart and speak from the heart, he's there. He's there for us. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
I'm sorry.
Oh, just saying, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I kind of veered off.
Yeah, we have to realize he made all things. He is all things. He constitutes all things. He's the first atom. Therefore, that's why I said when you didn't visit me in prison, or you didn't go visit the prisoner, you didn't visit me. When you didn't visit the sick, you didn't visit me, because we are a product of him.
Yeah.
And so he is the great Elohim, and the Elohim, Elohim is the corruption. Elohim is the corruption. The Elohim is the great Elohim is the logo, the sun, the atom, the symbol of the atom, and so that is classically the throne of the sun. The Pharaoh sat on what he called the sun throne, and the cobra was in its headdress, and the cobra was the symbol of the sun. The cobra means the supporting, the co-support, because in the servant hand, the Yeshua, the sun, the light shines. Everything came from the light. Our planets and our moons came from the sun, with maybe the exception of the gaseous orbs, and perhaps they came in from the outside. But all of the regular planets, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Earth, the moons, they came out from the sun, because everything came from the light. And so Yeshua then, in the metaphor, because he is everywhere, so it's strictly a metaphor, he rules from the throne of the sun. The sun is a projection of it's called his eye, because he sees all things at all times. It is his symbolic of his mind, because it is illumination, and it is the symbol of his heart, because it is the center of hearing, where everything comes from. And so it is our life blood. The blood is being pumped through the heart of the sun. So these are the way the ancients saw things, and the way it actually is in the metaphor. We know that the light is our mother. The sun is the star is called the mother star. That's what master means, mother star, my light. And so we have to see how they saw in the ancient past, because that is the key. They saw things in the symbolic nature, and all of nature is speaking with the voice of Yeshua, because he made all of nature. But then we have been separated from it through our phony technological age that denies us the connection with our with our Mother Earth, with nature that is speaking, vibrating, getting back to the vibrations again. with the colors and with the sounds and with the images. Everything is telling a story about the one. It's all speaking of the one. And the birds sing every time the sun rises. They know what it means. That's why they sing. They don't sing when the sun goes down. They get quiet, right?
Right.
All of nature shuts off when the sun is going down, as if everything died, right?
Right. Everything sleeps.
It's telling a story.
Wow.
And it starts, that's when the day starts. The new day starts when the sun goes down, not somewhere in the middle of the darkness. When the sun goes down, according to ancient custom, that's when the new day begins. So it all began with the darkness, and then there was light. So we start in the darkness, and we have to come to the light and have our own sunrise in the spirit of enlightenment.
Wow, that's more repeating patterns and connections and things, does it? Like, I just saw that now. Like, that's why we have to go through our struggles in life. We're in the darkness and we have to come out into the light. Yeah. Yeah, it just all makes sense. As usual. Okay, unfortunately, I think we're going to have to probably end it a bit soon.
Right.
Yeah, I'm loving this, but I'm starting to get a bit. I keep looking back at the door. Yeah, I'd rather end on this note than have to shut it down because of interruptions. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it sounds like we got a good test. We had trouble this morning getting ramped up, so we have a good run. That's good.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. Yeah.
All right. Well, then I want to thank you for opening up for some dialogue and to share with those who are out there who are trying to wrap their mind around the great mystery. And it's not an easy thing to do, especially when we've been denied access to pure literature, pure scriptures, and the lives of priesthoods and politicians.
Yeah. Do you want to give out your details again, or I keep thinking of your access at the moment because your computer's down. Yeah, we'll figure something out. I'll leave my email in the description so people can at least get in touch with me and ask. Yeah, and I can pass on messages to you and yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Well, if anyone wants to make a donation to support us getting back online with the computer, we've got either a repair, potential repairs that we need, or other unknown expenses, or maybe even need a new computer. And I'm not sure yet if I have a warranty on the one that crashed, so I've got to figure that out. But so any support would be great. Then they can notify you. And you can send them the documents for us if they want to make us a donation, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe give out your contact information, your email or whatever, so they can deal direct with you, okay, to get the documents, and they can go to therealpublicradio.net and the PayPal button there. Any size donation, they can get these documents. And we work on an honor system, and of course, if you don't have funny money, then Ninja will still get them to you anyway. Just let her know. We have we have a Book of Wisdom. The Book of Wisdom is the greatest book of wisdom ever written by Joseph of Arimathea, the great uncle of Yeshua, the mind blower, and sample of the original gospel with the dictionary that's behind that, the most recent dictionary as well. So there you go. And thank you, Ninja, for taking the time. Okay, and way to go on your cosmic journey. You're getting your head wrapped around it in a big way, and it continually unfolds. That's the Fibonacci sequence, right? It just keeps the horizon keeps getting bigger.
Yeah.
And you're always at the beginning because it's infinite.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Yeah. Just when you think you've seen it, you see it all, You see the big picture and you know it all, even though.
You just turn the corner.
Yeah.
Turn the corner and say, "Oh no."
Yeah. Yeah. There's more. There's more wows. Yeah. It's amazing. I'm so glad that we got this done today. I really am. I've been. I've heard you say this, and now I know exactly what you mean. Like, I've been craving this. You need to be able. You need to crave it. Yeah. I loved it. Thank you, Desert.
Knowledge is the real food.
Yeah.
Because it leads to eternal life. Knowledge of who we are, where we are, when we are, and why we are. Okay, so with that, I'll let you go, and peace and enlightenment, and we'll talk perhaps in another day or so, right?
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out with all the contact details and stuff. Yeah, we'll keep it going. I would like to do another program as soon as possible. So whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I was thinking because I don't have anything on tomorrow, my time, I was thinking maybe try again, have another go tonight, same time, 1:30.
You mean, basically?
Yeah, is that too much, or are you happy to do it?
That. Just text me at a time. 30 minutes, we give me notice, all right?
Okay. Excellent. Oh, I'm excited. Okay. All right. We'll do this. I'm wordless as usual, Desert. Constant wows and loving that we are making progress. We really are. So.
Yeah, while they destroy our world.
Yeah.
The most important thing is we gotta figure it out, the great mystery, and make our connection. Time is short. And so, okay, I'll look for you in 12 hours then, all right?
Yep. Let's do this.
Be there or be square.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Don't want a Masonic border on your head. So.
I missed that last one because I was busy saying thank you.
You don't want a Masonic mortarboard on your head. When they graduate in school over here, they have a Masonic mortarboard on their head when they graduate, so it means they got mud in their eye, you know.
Oh, I never wore one of those because I never went all the way through school anyway.
I didn't either.
I only went to year 10. Yeah. Okay, I was too. I'm gonna go with that. I only went to year 10. Yeah.
All right. Clock is ticking. I will see you then.
Okay. Thank you. Peace and light.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya. Okay, and that was Dezert-Owl with your friendly neighborhood NinjaCat 111. Join us again in about 12 hours, and we will be continuing with the truth and more wows. I'm just I'm just wowed, constantly wowed. No worries. Love you, yeah. Love you, yeah, love. He does have the whole world in his hand. Okay, I'm just looking for the music. So I don't want to just leave it silent. Okay, I'll see you guys in 12 hours. Hopefully it'll be a better time so that we can have a few more listeners. Okay, love you guys. See yous.